Welcome back to my channel. This video is for those who want to start making soap because it uses a very easy soap recipe with just one oil. Something very important if you want to make soap is to use gloves to protect your hands from possible lye splashes and eye protection, always and at all times when dealing with lye. Also wear long sleeves, pants and closed-toed shoes. Let's start out with weighing out the distilled water according to the recipe that you will find in the description here. Don't use regular tap water or mineral water, as both contains minerals that can react badly to the sodium hydroxide or lye. Add the correct amount of lye slowly to your distilled water. You can weigh out the lye separately if you are starting out and don't feel confident to add it directly to your water. Mix well to fully dissolve the lye and be sure not to breathe in the fumes. Have a good ventilation in your room as well. Make sure no kids or pets are in the room. Set your lye solution aside where it is out of reach. Now we measure out the fat part of our soap recipe. In our case we use coconut oil as the fat. Coconut oil alone is a bit drying on the skin, so it needs to have a superfat level of at least 20%. What is superfat? It's not that. Superfatting is the process of using less lye or more fat than industry standards, so that there's some leftover oil in the soap that's not bound to the lye. This leaves behind more unsaponified fat, providing more moisture in the soap. As you can see, the coconut oil comes in solid form, except if you live in a very hot climate, so you need to melt it down to become liquid. You can use a microwave to melt down the coconut oil, and if you do, be sure to use short increments so you don't overheat the mixture. Or you can use a double boiler like I do here. While the coconut oil melts down, I prepare the colorants and fragrance. Both are optional in making soap, of course, and you can choose if and how to color and fragrance your soap. I'm using a pigment today, and therefore I pre-mix it with oil first, so it will be easier to incorporate. Just make sure that you have every clump out of the mixture. If you use a mica, you can add it directly to the soap batter. For fragrance, I'm using ultraviolet fragrance oil from Scent Perfect. Here you can use a measuring cup or a scale depending on what you prefer. Use a glass jug for fragrance at all times. Having colorant and fragrance ready before mixing the soap is a must, because you want to be able to move quickly once you are into the soaping process. You never know how the soap speeds up, and you don't want to search for colorants or fragrance or anything like that, believe me. The oil is now fully melted, and once the lye water and the oil is about the same temperature, like 10 degrees apart, around 35 Celsius or 95 Fahrenheit, you can add the lye solution slowly to the oil. Then add the stick blender and start mixing until you see that the mixture looks uniform and opaque. This means that you reached an emulsion. This is the first stage of soap, so to speak, and of course it will continue to interact and harden up within the next 24 hours. If you're interested, you will find all tools, equipment and ingredients that I'm using or recommending down in the description. Now is the time to add color. I always start with a color so I can still stick blend it to get the pigment fully incorporated. As a tip, with the color, go step by step. You can always add more color if you are not happy with the intensity, but it's very difficult or impossible to take it back if it's too vibrant. Once you are happy with the color intensity, you can add your fragrance. I basically always just add it and hand mix it with a spatula and not with a stick blender. It's not needed and it will avoid to speed up trace too much. Now we are ready for the pour. Here is a 3D kind of mold that I absolutely love. I always like to place my mold on a cutting board so I can move it around easily. If you're interested, I have a video here on my channel going over different kind of molds, my experience with it, and some examples of use. This recipe here hardens relatively fast as it uses coconut oil only, so you should be able to unmold it after 24 hours even without using sodium lactate. But if for some reason you see that the soap is still sticky or doesn't release from the mold when you try, like I do here, to stretch it around the soap, then just leave it 1 or 2 days longer. There is no need to rush, since the soap needs to cure for 4 to 6 weeks anyways before you can use it. I think that turned out great. Let me know if you want to try this out for yourself. It's totally worth it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I would love to hear from you. There are more videos on soap making here on the channel, as you can see on the screen. Feel free to check it out and to subscribe if you're interested to see more. I hope to see you around here very soon for another video, and in the meantime, I wish you a wonderful day. Bye bye!